Hello. Good evening, this Yuletide evening, everybody. I hope that you are very well and having a beautiful day with loved ones and realigning yourself to unconditional love in these previous times. It's been quite intense over the last few years for many people. And this is why today, in advance of tomorrow, and our usual Concordia broadcasts, today and this evening, I am talking about the quantum love experience. So what is that and how is that different? Well, it's the quantum aspect of ourselves has not been explained fully to the masses. Science is still catching up with us, for sure. But we at Concordia Consularis, the Spiritual and Business Agency of Peace, have some tricks up our sleeves. And these are techniques that are designed to help the individual love to the fullest of their capacity. Now, how can they do that? Don't they do that already? Well, there are a number of factors that inhibit how much you can love. So ask yourself that question: how much do you love? And some of you may say, well, I can love a fair bit. I can love a lot, but there's always room to go further in the human experience. So one of the things that does inhibit how much you can love are the traumas that you have experienced from your family and lineage and ancestors, how much of it has been present in our lives. And before, a long time ago, before I got into this kind of line of work, line of being myself as a love being, as a mother, I always wanted to give as much love as I possibly could to the children. And anything that was less than that really made me feel bad about my mothering. Now, for many people out there, their parents will have experienced traumas, issues, stresses, and various very strong emotions, fear, anger, and it brings up naturally the experiences that we've had as being children. So it's a bit of a catch-22 situation. So if there was a lack of love in your childhood, that will have an impact and bearing how much you love in the future, whether it's somebody, a person, your children, your family, whoever it is. There will be an impact there that prevents you physically from being able to go to the highest place possible. So in the lineage or in the family in particular, the very early formations of you, who you are, how you deal with the world, how do you deal with the work world, the basis of all your human relationships. If they were hampered and remain unhealed, then it does have a negative effect and restricts how much your heart can open and give. That's it just is like that, and we see that in many different areas in people. In my extensive experience with clients, this is also a common thing. Also in Britain in particular, where Victorian attitudes and culture have shaped how much you can love, how much you can personally express as a person. So the next stage of that is, how much do you love yourself? How much love from yourself is present in your body right now? And sometimes there can be an impact here from your own personal birth and the levels of oxytocin in your body. That's another factor to take into consideration. But the times growing up as children would have been hard, I dare say, from your peers who would have probably given you some sort of hard time in the cultural beginnings of your early aspects of life. If you were beaten on, traumatized, and bullied, hurt, you experienced depression as a young person, a teenager, those patterns carry through for the rest of your life and builds up feelings of I'm not worthy, I can't experience the fullest, I dare not experience the fullest. And there's always a limit imposed by an aspect of you that found it too painful to work with the love frequency in case that you got hurt. And some of it may hit home to you, it may not. It all depends on your personal experience. So the next aspect of that, of falling back, the next aspect of that is your love relationships. Now, for many, it went wrong. In the first relationship, the first time you experienced heartbreak, the manipulation that you might have experienced in relationships because the other person was broken. And these are the wounds that you would have received from other people that weren't yours to begin with. Now, all of this has a massive energetic impact to the way that you are, how much you love and how much you live in fear and other emotions. And what we do with the quantum love experience is that we work our way bit by bit with your body vehicle relations that you have experienced, but also we look at this from a past life infinite perspective. So if you have had past lives where there has been such damage, strong emotional impacts that have nearly taken you down, that have nearly destroyed you, then the level that you can love is going to be pretty limited. Now, what most people don't know is that when you experience something of this magnitude, this damage, the trauma to the heart of this magnitude, it has a memory impact in the body. So anytime a new situation comes on or comes along where you could potentially love and be loved unconditionally at the right levels, it begins to have a physical impact and you begin to block it because it's too painful to experience, unless you're an absolute master or maestro and able to resolve these issues internally. Now, the heart is such an important factor of your own existence, and it's an important function and role to the whole multidimensional system, to your other organs, which are also operating at those levels. But these begin to shut down and be affected by these experiences. So every single trauma that you experience is literally damaging the inner organs and the physical being. So when we start to unwind, release and resolve and heal these experiences, it gives us a huge opportunity to transcend, transform and heal the pain that could potentially kill you in your 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s and 80s and beyond. Now, this is my offering to you with the Quantum Love Experience on the 3rd of February 2023 at 7 p.m. EST. It's going to be online for this first, but it's a bit of a more evolved voyage than the one I held last year or the year before. And we go into your soul path, what you have experienced, what trauma, sexual trauma that you have experienced, as we work through each individual element of root, all these energy centers, the root, the sacrum, seat of all your relationship of dreams, the emotions at the solar plex, the heart, which is so important because this is your navigational tool, your throat, where you could not voice your angst about what was going on, and somehow these disconnections began to have an impact on your behaviors in the world as an adult. Third eye, all of these perceptions, you are shown things, you are receiving light and feeding back to the rest of the mechanical system, because that's what it is. It functions in a specific way. So once we start working with those levels from your own personal story through your own body map and begin to unlock them and heal them, truly heal them, it brings us into a very different space. So this is why I'm offering this experience, because every being on this planet has the capacity to love more than what they are and always improve on the levels they're experiencing life, love, and relations with all people. So it's a very beautiful thing. And it's not just about the physical body. I know this is a spiritual, infinite experience. We've been here, some of us, for millions of incarnations. How do we improve on that? It's not just exist, maybe it will happen, maybe it won't. Oh no. We take responsibility for the way that we are in the world. And that comes from a soul perspective within, that is anchored into the heart, into the bone marrow. All the other functions depend upon it. Are you happy? Are you a mother that is unhappy? Are you a father that has just been broken by a system life? This goes for all people. I'm just sort of assigning spaces where I've seen it the most. Are you in a family where there was no love and there's no communication? It's up to you individually to transform that within you. And it's very, very powerful, because once we've cleared through the traumas that have affected your soul and spiritual experience, you begin to learn your lessons. Are you learning lessons about love and the different levels of it? Or are you feeling maybe you have transcended it, that you have come into that resolved perfection of your own divine heart and grace? Only time will tell. Now, for you who might be listening to these words, this is really important, because once we move through those levels of personal individual trauma, from family, love, relations of all kinds, even if it was the teacher at school that was always on your back and didn't believe in you, that would hurt because you couldn't understand why. You know, there are many different scenarios that create this, but also how much have you loved in the past? How much have you, and I'm referring to past lives, how many times have you been devastated by the lack of love in your life? For some, it will be deep and vast. For others, it will be a little bit, but mostly about this lifetime. But everybody is individual on their individual journeys of love, because that is what we are. The same creationary love that grows through the earth, through the trees, the animals. Everybody is born with this innate intelligence, love. It makes us who we are. It makes our lives enjoyable and worthwhile, activated, potent, and is the strongest force in the universe. Those entrenched in system will never be able to reach that level. Those entrenched by the groups that overtook this planet eons ago have the inability to love to the right level, even themselves. Sad, isn't it? I'm sure that if every being on this planet let go of their trauma and felt their own divine essence of love, that we'd be living in a different time frame. We'll be living in a different way, because love brings peace, but it ultimately starts with you, your experience, and how much love you want to grow within your being. And this is really, really important for me, but for every living being on earth today. How can we bring more love to all areas of our lives? And then we begin to watch the transformation process, not just in ourselves, how we look, how we feel, how we engage with others, but in our communities and families around us. If you felt that you didn't maybe give enough love as a parent, how can you remedy that? What are good examples to set for your children, for yourself, and for the way that you live? Throughout time, the story of the generations of Earth have been battered and had their love separated. This internal love, the division between male and female, the division in your own experience, because it's just too painful. It hurts too much to even go there. And when you combine loss, grief, fear, loneliness, anxiety, depression, and low self-worth and low self-esteem, we begin to magnetize that around us, because like attracts like. But when you upshift your frequency by losing this level of trauma, things begin to change internally and externally. We notice more love coming in different ways through unconscious actions. The people in your life change. The people in your world change. That's great, isn't it? Because the experiences are always changing. Do we want to stay in a level of system-based fear, lack, or do we want the unconditional love? And I'm going to use Abraham Hicks' words here. Are we going to inhibit the energy that creates worlds and universes? I know what I'll take. Oh, so all of you love beings out there, the ones that truly know what I'm saying and understand and get it. That's why I'm offering this quantum love experience, because it really does change things in your world. What happens when you do that, when you upshift in your soul group? Well, your soul group begins to change. So you're actually doing them a favor as well as yourself. And then once we work with that higher dynamic that is able to anchor into the body properly, fully, and comprehensively with every cell, then things really start shifting out and in through our experiences, with the heart being the center. And then that gives us the opportunity to look at life from a different perspective, the sacred perspective, because we begin to realize that we are one at those levels. We realize that it's easier for us to become whole. It's easier for us to love ourselves beyond anything else. That's the most important factor. Everything else is just a gift, an addition, a bonus point. But loving yourself is the key, regardless of what has happened in your existence, regardless of what has taken place, by whom, for whatever reason. It's about making peace with your soul And that is the most beautiful thing you can possibly experience, is that total, sacred, neutral peace. Doesn't that sound good? And it might kick off a negative thought, just even thinking that, well, I don't know, blah, 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 blah. Fine. But there you see the blockages where your mind, the child of your experience, begins to talk you out of it. And if you get that, that means there's a blockage. And the blockages that we put in place for ourselves are huge and make it very difficult to work beyond them. Why do I say that? From pure experience, not from myself, just as well. Well, there's a bit in there. But working with thousands of people who have pain, heart pain, stress and anxiety when it comes to love and loving themselves. You see, only you will know how much you love yourself. Only you know truth is your journey. And if there are limitations, come along to this wonderful event on the 3rd of February 2023, where we can work through in a very easy way these levels of restriction in your spiritual life. You might think, well, I meditate every day, I do yoga, I'll be fine, I'm already connected. I'm already spiritually enlightened. And there you hear it all. Only you will know the truth. So it's a great offering on that date. You'll find the details down below to book. It's very reasonable for all peoples. And it's designed to get you back into you fully, not fragmented, crying on the other side of the galaxy, wishing that the situation was healed, because we find this in nearly every case. There's a part of you missing that you've always been looking for, a part of you that was stashed away somewhere or taken off by someone. And you always miss that part. Where is that part of me? Something is missing. These are some of the reasons why. It's quite a shock, really, when you look at it from that perspective. So one of the other things is that when we have love relationships, we give our heart away. Oh, how many times have I had to rectify that? Not just my career. I give you my heart. I love you so much. I give you my heart. Well, how much of your heart is functioning to the highest level of its capability right now? How much of that? How much have you given away previously to others who basically just stamped on it, set it on fire? Happens to a lot of people. And this is where we need to redefine and reassess what love is. It's not just a fanciful feeling. It has purpose in your body. The energy, the true energy of love is a growing, evolving function within you that is part of your natural biological capability. How much can you love? So when we work with that at a quantum level, we begin to magnetize all manner of things into our world. All manner of sacred beings come into your existence. Sacred beings that resonate with your quantum structure of your soul, your light, and your levels of love. It's really beautiful. Afterwards, you'll be dancing through the universes. This is an infinite voyage. Dance now, as the system would smash your ankles and distort every love frequency in your world. And I'm sure that you would not. So how much is your heart functioning? Is it functioning to the fullest capability? Or is there room for improvement? Only you know. But it can be felt. And you know on an intuitive, instinctual level. So, lovely divine people, beings of these times. The time of the fifth world of peace is here, established and fully functioning with Earth. New time changes, everything's speeding up, out of the slowed down imposition that we have faced over the eons. I'm going to leave the links below, how you can contact me if you would like sessions, if you would like to join the quantum love experience. Great, this reality of systems of love. So from my heart, I give you thanks for joining this broadcast. It's been wonderful. If you have any questions, please contact me straight away. You know how to find me. Harmony Imperfect Counsel on Facebook or at Concordia Continuaris, because we are the spiritual and business agency of peace. And we can help you get there in the struggle. Plaso Conati, Il Panama. We want to switch it because I'm going to go do something else. No, stop it.